If you love Heartland, then you've probably been waiting for something truly shocking and emotional. Ty Borden's return in Season 19, Episode 1. After years of heartbreak and uncertainty, Amy, Lindy, Jack, Lou, Georgie, and Tim experience an unexpected reunion that changes everything. But how does Ty come back after all this time? And what does it mean for Amy and their family? Today, we're diving deep into how Ty returns, the emotional reactions of the Heartland family, and the heartfelt conversation between Amy and Ty that will leave fans in tears. So before we begin, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Next Flying, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any Heartland updates. Now, let's jump into the incredible story of Ty Borden's return in Heartland Season 19, Episode 1. The episode starts like any other peaceful morning at Heartland. Amy is in the barn tending to the horses as the golden sunlight stretches across the fields. It's a typical day, except Lindy runs up to her, breathless and wide-eyed. There's a man on a horse. He's coming this way. Amy glances up, expecting it to be just another ranch hand or visitor, but something about Lindy's tone makes her pause. She wipes her hands on her jeans and steps outside, her heart suddenly racing for no reason she can explain. And then she sees him. At first, it's just a silhouette in the distance, a man on horseback moving steadily toward the ranch. The way he rides is strangely familiar, like something out of a dream or a memory. As the figure gets closer, Amy squints against the morning light, trying to make sense of what she's seeing. And then it hits her. Her breath catches in her throat, and her body freezes. It's Ty Borden. For a moment, she can't breathe. Can't think because it's impossible. She had spent so many nights crying, trying to accept that he was gone, trying to move forward for Lindy. But now, standing before her, as real as the earth beneath her feet, is the love of her life. Her lips part, and in a whisper, barely believing it herself, she says, "Ty." Ty dismounts his horse slowly, his eyes locked onto Amy. "It's me," he says, his voice thick with emotion. Amy's hands tremble as she takes a hesitant step forward, her eyes filling with tears. She doesn't know whether to run to him or collapse under the weight of this moment. Behind her, Lindy grips the hem of her mother's shirt, staring at the man she's only known through stories and pictures. "Mom?" she whispers, looking up at Amy with confusion and hope. But before Amy can say a word, the door to the ranch house swings open, and Jack Bartlett steps onto the porch. He had been watching from the window, and now he stands frozen, his weathered face pale with shock. His hands grip the railing as he takes in the sight before him. Jack's eyes fill with tears, but his voice is steady. "Is this real?" he finally asks. Ty takes a deep breath and nods. "It's real, Jack." The old cowboy's tough exterior wavers for just a second before he steps forward. Jack's lips press into a thin line as he fights back tears. "I never thought I'd see you again," he says. Ty swallows hard. "I never stopped fighting to get back," he replies, his voice raw. Jack stands still for a long moment before finally pulling Ty into a rough, heartfelt hug. "Welcome home, son," he murmurs. But before the emotions can settle, Lou pulls up in her car, completely unaware of what's happening. She steps out, looking toward the group near the barn. "What's going on?" she calls. But then her eyes land on Ty. At first, she just stares, frozen in disbelief. "No," she whispers, her voice breaking. Then suddenly, her breath catches, and she rushes toward him, throwing her arms around his neck. "Ty, oh my God, Ty, how is this possible?" She sobs into his shoulder, clutching him like she's afraid he'll disappear. "It's a long story," Ty says, holding his sister-in-law tightly. "But I'm here." Night falls over Heartland as Georgie finally arrives. She had been away training for a major competition and hadn't checked her messages all day. As she steps out of her car, she notices something is off. There's an eerie stillness in the air. She walks toward the house, sensing that something isn't right. And then she sees him. Her breath catches, and the world seems to stop. "Ty?" Her voice is barely a whisper. Ty turns, giving her that familiar half-smile, the one she never thought she'd see again. Tears stream down her face as she rushes into his arms. "I thought you were gone," she cries. Ty hugs her tight. "I know," he whispers. "I'm so sorry, Georgie." The family watches this reunion unfold. Even Tim, who had been standing back skeptical and stunned, finally steps forward. "How?" he asks, his voice gruff. "How is this happening?" Ty meets his gaze. "It's complicated, Tim. But I swear to you, I fought my way back here." Tim stares at him for a long moment, searching for something in his face. Finally, he exhales and nods. "Well, you sure know how to make an entrance," he mutters before clasping Ty's shoulder. "Welcome home, son." Later that night, after the shock begins to settle, Amy and Ty sit together on the porch, just like they used to. The stars are bright overhead, the ranch bathed in moonlight. Amy can't stop staring at him, afraid that if she looks away, he'll disappear. Ty reaches out, taking her hand in his. "I thought about this moment every single day," he says softly. Amy swallows the lump in her throat. "I thought I lost you forever." He squeezes her hand. "I never stopped fighting to come back to you." Her breath shudders. "How?" she whispers. "How did you survive?" "It's a long story," he says. "But what matters is, I'm here now." Tears spill down Amy's cheeks, but this time, they aren't from grief, they're from relief, hope, and love. "Lindy is going to love you," she says with a small, tearful laugh. Ty smiles, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "And I'm going to love her with everything I have." Amy lets out a breath, overwhelmed by emotion. She cups his face in her hands, pressing her forehead against his. "You're really here," she whispers. Ty smiles. "I'm really here." And that's how Ty Borden returns in Heartland Season 19, Episode 1. From Amy's shock to Jack's heartfelt embrace, George's overwhelming tears, and even Tim's tough acceptance, this is the emotional return we've all been waiting for. But what do you think? Do you believe this reunion is real, or do you think there's more to the story? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a Heartland update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.